Hello everyone, welcome to Scorch Your Toys at Anymoon.com's review of Arcadia's Premium Finish 1/3000 scale SDF-1 toy. This toy was released in April 2018 for the groundbreaking price of 49,800 yen. For those of you keeping score, that's 13,000 yen, or perhaps a VF1 toy, more than the original regular release SDF-1 toy. So we're going to be looking here at a comparison between this premium finish version and the regular version. It's not going to be a full-blown review. I'm going to try to keep things nice and tight for you since it's exactly the same toy but with a better paint job. This toy comes in a different box. It's a matte black box like the other premium finish toys Arcadia has completed. Inside that box, the contents will look very familiar. You get the SDF-1 toy and the display stand and the various parts on sprues and the 2 ARMD carriers. That's all exactly the same stuff that came in the regular release. The only difference here is that the bridge has been included in a little plastic clamshell right on top of the toy. A bummer right out of the gate with this toy is that it does come with a lot of parts on runners, and I was hoping the premium finish version would address that, but they didn't. Instead, all they did was give the same wash and matte coat to the runner pieces. So it's going to blend perfectly well if you do invest the effort to put these on the toy. Once they're on the toy, it becomes a little harder to put away, so something to consider there. Here's also a close-up of the ARMDs so you get an idea of what we're talking about when we talk about the premium finish. You can see the premium version really popping here. Now usually I tell you, hey, you should go shop at Big Bad Toy Store. That's not so true of Macross products. They don't really carry a lot of them. This particular one is an Arcadia online exclusive, so not only will it not be at BBTS, it won't be at most of your normal retailers. So if this video does pique your interest, happy hunting to you. You can still check out that link to Big Bad Toy Store to help support the channel though. Thanks. So everything about this toy is the same as the regular version except the paint scheme. So here's the premium finish version, obviously has a lot of pop in the front. Here's the regular version. You still have the prongs that pull out, you still get the articulated rail guns, you still have the display stand, but now you've got a wash that really makes the detail work pop. You also get red and green glow-in-the-dark paint apps. And then you get some red striping throughout that really makes the premium finish version a cut above the regular version. And that was my complaint with the regular version, that looked bland. The premium version definitely addresses that. It might not be the color gray you really want, but it's definitely more attractive than the original release. Okay, so let's get up close and personal. You can see that there is the painted on numbers on the runway. You get this wash that's making all of those details really pop out that were already on the toy before, but were a lot harder to enjoy because you couldn't really visually discern them on these big broad swaths of just plain gray plastic. Now the toy does have sort of a matte coat applied to it. It's barely worth mentioning as far as what it does to the toy visually. It's pretty hard to notice it's even there, but it should theoretically help protect these new paint applications, which obviously is a good thing. What it also does for you is make the toy incredibly stiff right out of the box. It took a lot of effort to transform this toy. Now as we get to the back here, these boosters are pretty much the one thing that is unchanged from the regular release. Everything else has some sort of paint application to it. Now, all right, getting back to the side, we do have the Macross City gimmick. You may recall from the regular release. It is tucked away in this leg. There's this spinning window still. None of the gimmicks again changed. It's exactly the same toy. Let's see if we can get that. There you go. So we can pull away and then press up. And again, that matte clear coat makes this very stiff now. Once we've got that open, you can see there are little green and red paint apps inside to the city. But this would still be what I consider the weak point here. That's supposed to be the city we saw in the original SDF Macross show, or Robotech's Macross Saga. And it does not look like a city that people would be living in. It looks pretty much like it's cast in the same plastic all around it. Could have been much, much better. So there's still something for customizers to be excited about changing. Now, while we're looking at the toy like this, let's go ahead and raise the camera up a little bit and take a look at the bridge, because that's obviously a pretty important thing here. So let's zoom in. So there you go. There's the bridge. Looking good. You can see that it's got the antenna. They've got the little red and green apps on them. So really attractive. Big fan of these paint apps and the wash and how it makes a very good toy now look great. Okay, so I've turned off the lights and you can get a good look at the glow in the dark effect. The red lights are definitely not quite as bright as the green lights. All of this diminishes rather quickly. These are tiny paint apps, so you don't get a real long lasting effect. And I've got very bright lights that really help charge the effect. So in a normal situation where you've got this toy tucked away in a display case, you're really not going to get much value out of these paint apps. Just the same, I think it's a pretty cool effect. All right, just a quick recap here on attack mode. I do have a transformation video going from cruiser mode to attack mode. You should definitely check that out, as well as that original review. Cool gimmicks. You have a button you can press here that allows you to bring the weapons forward. That's the cool gimmick there. There are magnets involved in transformation, so that's a kind of cool thing to check out for the transformation video, even if you don't have one yet. You do have some articulation that allows the legs to kind of angle outward a little bit. The bummer of this toy really is the articulation of the elbows. You can't really get a good elbow forward with the ARMDs to make them look flat without twisting the shoulder at the top. That's kind of the big hindrance there. Very limited knee articulation, just enough to make it look like it's swaying back as the thing flies forward. To do a flying forward pose, you would need to remove this little piece here from in between the legs, right there, which is kind of quirky. The display stand itself only allows a little bit of angle forward, so it's pretty limited too, but it does do a good job of holding the toy in that upright position. So this review is all about the comparison between the regular finish, which I've got over here on the left, and the premium finish on the right. And you can see how the little details on the premium finish really are making it pop a little bit more. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring the camera down, and you can see kind of throughout how those details in various sections on the body really make things a little bit more attractive, really make things pop on the premium finish. So on my review of the original toy, I pointed out how bland it was. The premium finish obviously does a lot to address that, and I am thrilled to own the premium finish one, and I really do find my regular finish version now a pretty boring toy. So let's go ahead, we'll rotate these around, and I'll go back up with you here so you can see we've got the little bit of a wash effect on there. And again, I haven't used any of those runner parts that come with the toy, which would make both of these versions a little bit more attractive. But you can see in close-up detail here just how much the premium finish really adds to the overall look of this toy in both cruiser mode, as we saw before, and now attack mode. Let's see what happens when we turn off the lights. Now, I'm not a professional photographer, I'm just a hobbyist, so forgive me if this isn't the most beautiful looking shot, but this gives you a good idea of the effect from the glow in the dark lights. Now, I did have this toy underneath my photography lamps which means these little paint apps have been getting a lot of light, so they're going to look brighter than they would for most people. And the ambient light in most rooms is going to diminish some of this effect. But there you go. That's what it looks like in attack mode on the display stand with that glow in the dark effect going on. And you can see it's a neat little gimmick. So I know a lot of people are going to watch this video and be like, hey, there's no way that this thing is worth the cost of entry. And you know, there's plenty of valid points. There's plenty of other toys out there that cost less, that are probably a little bit more impressive than this one. But they aren't SDF-1 toys, and the SDF-1 market is pretty limited. So if you really want an SDF-1 toy, this to me is easily the pinnacle of the SDF-1 market right now. I am much less enthused about my regular version and much more enthused about this version than I expected to be. You still got the gaps here. Articulation is still really limited. It is kind of a backdrop item, so obviously the question of value is one that should be very pertinent to everyone. This isn't going to be something you have a ton of fun playing with. It's going to be something that looks really cool, probably behind some really cool looking VF1 toys in your displays. So how much money is that worth to you is a very valid question. Check out anymoon.com for my full article. And as always, thanks for watching.